Hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Philosophy Podcast. My name is Jed, and we are about to jump in to a side quest in this book, one given by Socrates. Explore the 10 ox-herding pictures of Buddhism and see if we can find anything similar to what we've been reading, what we've been putting together in our exploration and our maps and our use of the mind to map the model of mind, or to engage in ousia, to reflect with understanding on the model and nail it down with words. There's our ousia, self-reflection and logos, understanding and words. The two things that make us evolved, more evolved than caterpillars and cabbages, and what we're here to make use of in our learning and nurture. So, the perfecting of understanding by reverting upon the model and nailing down that model with understanding is the quest. The spiritual quest, the educational quest, is the love of understanding, philodianoia. That's the game. So, where we are in the text is, that's the blackboard. Here is the text, sort of. I didn't open it. Let me open it. There we go. Magic. I magic it up onto the board. Let's go. Were you impressed, R.M. Brown?
Gooners.
Come on, man. This is not that kind of a channel. This is not a channel for gooners. All right. So, where we are, briefly, we've got an overview of a way of transitioning out of what seems to be ruling our planet, our culture right now, Abrahamic religions. We have a bridge through Dionysius, who introduced the Logos using metaphors from Christianity, pretending to be a friend of Paul's and around at the time of the crucifixion of Jesus, smuggling in the Logos. After him came Thomas Aquinas, the Christian philosopher, quoted Dionysius 1,000 times. So all Christian metaphysics and philosophical speculation is based on fundamentally Dionysius. We have Ficino. What's his name? I keep messing this one up. Fajidi. What's his name? Ficino. Came along, didn't realize that this was actually Platonic philosophy. So he thought, well, actually, we can bridge the gap between Christians and Platonic philosophy, without realizing that Dionysius was only pretending to be loyal to the core beliefs of Christianity. He was in disguise. So he accepted a deceiver's teaching. So he might have added his own thought, speculation, contemplation to Dionysius, but without realizing he was being tricked, he made a few mistakes. So, if you are a thinking Christian, therefore, you should be getting your ass into Platonic philosophy, because that's the core of it. Dionysius, which is really, he was really a student of Plotinus. Let's nail down who he was a student of. Proclus, one of the head teachers at the academy. So, didn't stress the importance of dreams, of course. Very few people did. We are now stressing that because we have a place for it on the map. In two ways, we have it as if the skill of understanding that we're here to master, as the meaning of life, you could say, is the dialectic, then we could do a dialectic on the dialectic to recognize it has four parts. Definition. Where do we learn the definition of the dialectic? In our reading or philosophy. Reading of texts written by those who follow the logos, who are right in a certain way where you can discover the questions to develop the understanding for yourself. That's why these texts are bangers. So that's true philosophy. It's not belief, it's not opinion, it's not debate, it's not quoting whoever the fuck you want to support your own personal opinions. It's like a video game. So long as you're reading a text written by a master of the logos, you can search for the patterns, the analogies, look for the questions, put together your answers using the dialectic structure, and solve mysteries that have the benefit of, well, perfecting your own understanding and preparing your mind for higher vision of enlightenment. What we're doing today is seeing if we can recognize stages in that progression into and through enlightenment and to the other side of heaven, that state of mind that Jesus calls heaven or the kingdom of God, the other side or the ultimate, the different spiritual experience, the self. So, applying the dialectic to finding the truth, philosophy. Applying it to removing what's false, our false ideas of self and reality, our beliefs, is midwifery, philosophical midwifery. To get guidance in both, necessarily, you need to be doing dream analysis. And finally, you have to be functioning through it, sharing the dialectic with others. It's for everyone. It's the gift of fire from Prometheus that can save mankind. The dialectic, it's our purpose, it's the only thing we take with us, the learning and nurture of our soul. It's necessary to solve problems, it's the spiritual quest as well, it's the spiritual method, it's everything all in one, it's tops. So we have to find a way of sharing it most artfully. So there's our place for dream analysis within the four parts of the dialectic. But also we've been developing a list of causes. How do you answer the why question? Why are we here? Or what's our purpose? There are 5 ways of answering that question, and we've been exploring that the last few weeks. But moving through that set of 5 finishes with you functioning on a higher level of whole that allows you to transition into a greater set of 5. So as our soul seeking to follow the logos in reading, so there's our receptive material cause, activity cause, functioning as we talk, reflect, and act on what we're reading. Finally, to discover the paradigm or model behind the logos, behind the author, behind the way the book's structured, behind the thinking of the main character Socrates. That's called the dialectic. Now, because you've gone through that, you have now reached a higher functioning of whole. You can transition from perfecting your soul to engaging in the level of mind. Why? Because the activity of mind is dialectic. Now, your receptive material cause is your mind receptive to rule of the dialectic. Just like if you want to order your soul, you want to order your soul according to the logos, the reasoning part of your soul. If you order your soul according to the desiring part, well, then you'll go chase physical pleasures or seek money or become a tyrant so you can manipulate the world and gain your physical pleasures. If you're ruled by the honor-seeking part, you might want to get famous or start lots of wars so you can be known as a warrior. But we want to be ruled by reason. Virtue. So following the logos, or to be ruled by the logos, seeking and following the logos is how we perfect our soul. Seeking and following the dialectic, so you could say being ruled by the dialectic, is the mind receptive to the higher activity You could call this the greatest activity, the dialectic. In the activity of, there we go, here's our philosophy and midwifery, those two things we just mentioned, the dialectic applied to truth, the dialectic applied to removing what's false. And of course, reflecting on the dialectic as you go through it, so you can realize we are benefiting from something caring and intelligible. So are we engaged in providence by doing the dialectic, playing the game of mind? As we go through that, we recognize, hang on a second, just as we did for our reading, we're engaged in an activity as a receptive, open, curious mind, following our greatest functioning, a dialectician, someone who facilitates that, asks the questions and judges the answers. That's about it. There seems to be if that's a activity that you can master as an art, as a dialectician, that anyone can play, there's no exclusion, there's no punishment, there's no blame, there's no shame, there's no exclusions because you're on the wrong hierarchy, or you're lower on the totem pole because you're a woman, or because you're the wrong color or wrong shape. Bollocks to that. If you've got a mind, this is how you use it, the dialectic. Therefore, if it's a universal game, there has to be a blueprint or paradigm or model existing eternally for it to have scope over our physical world. It's not diminished by its use. You don't use it up like a tube of toothpaste. It has an eternal existence. So through the dialectic, you can free yourself from your false beliefs about reality and be open to experience reality directly in that first or penultimate spiritual experience. That's recognizing the paradigm of mind itself. That's ousia. Somebody in the chat last time said, I was taught ousia is essence. Yes, that's how you're taught at school. They translate the word ousia as essence. That's a very shallow understanding of the word. Ousia is mind's capacity to turn around upon itself. So we talk about self-reflection as what we do here. That's how you would do it in time. But doing it out of time, or to experience turning around and experiencing mind all at once, is the intelligibility of intelligence itself, the paradigm for the dialectic mind. But because you have reached there through understanding, you can use your dialectic art to reflect even on that vision and realize, holy fuck, oops, I shouldn't swear, so sorry about that.
Fucking bitch, pussy ass fucker.
Okay, I guess it's okay if the oracle does it. Holy Moses, oh, it's even worse. There must be a cause. There must be a cause. If it's a map, it's a oneness, it's a whole, but it has all of the parts arranged in a certain way. In fact, it's the studying of that map. That's metaphysics. The personification of that map is theology or mythology. It ain't literal, it's a metaphorical or analogical representation of the aspects of that paradigm of dialectic or paradigm of mind. So, if there is a oneness, there must be a one. If there is some self experiencing it, there must be a self. And if all of these aspects are defined by their own selfhood, self-beauty, self-justice, self-whole, self-part, then again, if these are adjectives, if we see self being used as an adjective, there must be self as a noun. So, going through the dialectic or the activity of mind, that for the sake of which your mind is now open to a higher level of functioning, the self. So from soul to mind to self. Now you're a self receptive to, as you are a soul receptive to rule by the logos. That's why we read and reflect on our reading. Now we're a mind receptive to the dialectic. That's why we engage in dialectic as often as we can. And That's what we look for when we read. That's how we look for the puzzles and the structure and questions of the text. So too, the self is receptive, or is seeking and following the greatest dialectician. So we could see this activity of mind as a prerequisite only if you've been engaging in this and reflecting on it to realize it's care, it is intelligence, it's what gives us our benefit or providence. Can you recognize, well, I better look for the best dialectician in town because this seems to be the best, most beneficial activity. Therefore, only with an understanding of the dialectic, so you can recognize it, and a recognition, a reflection on it to recognize it's the best thing in the world, can you see the significance of your dreams. Without that, you will just think dreams are, I don't know, what do people think dreams are? Silly nonsense? Your brain chemicals, your subconscious making sense of your day. Lots of crazy ass things that are wrong. So to recognize the significance of your dreams and upgrade, level up, you have to be engaged in that activity of mind. So now you're a self, receptive to rule by the dream maker. So the actual highest use of the greatest activity, the dialectic, is in dream analysis. So self-receptive to the dream, to ruling or seeking and following the dream master. In the greatest activity, dream analysis, and same again, reflecting on that activity, reflecting on what your dream maker must be in order to be the greatest kind of dialectician and create a universe many times a night for billions of living beings on the planet, and who knows how many other planets have life at this level. So our highest functioning, or the greatest functioning we can master as human beings, is the dialectician or midwife of dreams. Now, leading to ultimately, just as there was a paradigm of mind, what the heck kind of paradigm must the dream maker have that it knows yourself and your self's journey and your false image of self and what your self needs, such that the dreams are presenting you with information most appropriate and relevant and significant to your state of development of self. There must be some sort of model of self beyond even experience. So there is therefore an ousia, or a knowing of self, and an inherent understandability, because it's the paradigm. It needs to be a whole. There's your ousia, and needs to have parts. There's your logos, for it to be a map or blueprints. But of course, that's our goal, because it doesn't have parts. Some sort of instant knowing. So there is some sort of unique kind of special way in which the logos, or the intelligibility of self, is, well, inherent to the knowing of self. And of course, the final cause, that for the sake of which, well, if we've been reflecting on the dream maker the whole way through, and we're recognizing it's the greatest functioning of the greatest activity, from operating from knowing of the self, the source of providence pronoia in Greek, prior to mind. The text says the journey of man ends when he becomes unified with that no longer, when man joins with that no longer of man. So unifying with a higher state of being. So our hypothesis is unify with the dream maker as the final cause, first and final cause. So that's another place where we have put dreams in the third level of development, from self to mind, from soul to mind to self, following the same 5 causes. But as you level up, you could recognize these causes as the most significant while you're going through them, but also as the prerequisites or the preconditions for the next level. So that's where we are in terms of our understanding. But Socrates is saying, hey, as you engage in this activity of mind, are there levels of apprehension of this paradigm and its integration so you can function most ideally as a dialectician? In other words, are there stages of enlightenment? And if this is the other kind of enlightenment experience, not the divine luminosity of mind, but the instant pure clarity of self, are there also stages of that? So can we map the stages of enlightenment, which would be these two paradigms here? So there's our transition in the text from Christianity, or a belief-based tradition, recognizing its ignorance, the pathologos ignorance of Paul, who hasn't gone through this at all and is venerating his own ignorance, his own personal false beliefs, lying about his position, saying he's greater than Jesus, appointed by God, and rejecting everything Jesus says, making him a wolf in sheep's clothing. Claiming wolf in sheep's clothing is the kind of interpreter of truth that claims to speak for the new while actually loyal to the old. But we have a way out, because Mark recognizes that and rejects everything Paul is saying, is far more rational. And of course we have Dionysius, who sneaks in the Logos as a lion in wolf's clothing, claiming to be loyal to the old while actually providing an alternative to the literal or stupid or barbaric reading. If you think it's literal, then you'd be called a barbarian by the Hellenics. Obviously, there is not a man with a beard in the sky throwing lightning at you for masturbating or something like that. That's fucking stupid. But how do you take it analogically? Now, Paul would say take it literally, because he is sick in the head. Modern Christians quote Paul, by the way. So modern Christians are Pauline Jews, by definition. So that's an interesting thing to tell your friends. So a lion in wolf's clothing, Dionysius. So Dionysius, Mark, and Ficino, although Ficino is fooled by the lion and may add to the new, but also tries to synthesize the new and old together. So both sides are, hey, lions and wolves could coexist. Obviously, he's been tricked, so ignore that saving the wolves. But if you're a thinking Christian, therefore, you'd be into Dionysius and Mark, the Gospel of Mark, and you will therefore wake up to the Logos and maybe start reading the things we're reading, where you can find the Logos that they're pointing to. So, a way out from religion, especially Christianity, but this applies to any religion. You'll be able to find these kinds of interpreters within whatever religion you're raised in, because everyone's different. You'll find the most sadistic people claiming to be the chosen ones and saying, oh yes, ignore your own development of understanding so I can abuse you through belief. And you can't experience enlightenment or knowledge, but if you do what I say, then I'll promise you get it when you die. So you have people like that in every religion, but if you have enough people, you'll find someone with more intelligence, more awareness of the Logos, and they'll sneak that in, or they'll be explicit about it. Hopefully those disgusting sadists who claim belief is important won't kill them, because they like to kill people. Paul murdered Christians for fun, let's not forget. But so it's a principle. You can find these sorts of people within any religion, hopefully. So there's your way out. But now that we're out of ignorance, we have Socrates saying, hey, we need to do a sequel to this book called A Dialogue Between Socrates and the Buddha. So, because Socrates says, hey, look, now that we've put aside belief, ignorance, sadism, faith, all that shit, now let's nail down what are the stages of enlightenment we actually go through. He says, I would like to describe the journey of the soul to experience also the other side of heaven. So not just the kingdom of God or heaven, the self, the ultimate state. But in the journey, there are stages along the way. I would have liked all the stages of enlightenment from a glimpse to the final stages fully worked out. That's our goal. Can we, as best we can, fully work out the stages? The Oxherding Pictures says Jesus. In each picture, there is a profound and beautiful statement of, this is what we're going to be looking for, the state of mind of the seeker. We want to nail down the state of mind. Number 2, what is encountered? What do they see? Number 3, how does it function? And each one ends with a suggestion of its sequel or the whole, or maybe that for the sake of which, the whole that results. So sequel is the next stage. So that's what we're looking for. And in fact, I think we've written it on the board already. So we want the map or paradigm of the journey of the soul through all of the stages of enlightenment, from a glimpse to its final stages, through to the other side. So we're going to look for 2 different kinds of enlightenment states talked about in the ox herding pictures. The picture and the statement, which is profound and beautiful apparently, should have the state of mind of the seeker, what is encountered, how it functions, and a suggestion of the sequel. Now, as we've been saying, we look for questions and we look for hypotheses. So we have a Q sack and an if sack in our inventory. And here is the stuff because we are, well, this is the hero's journey. This isn't an interpretation or a personal opinion. It's literally the archetype of the journey of every soul who is awakened to its purpose to follow the logos through the dialectic to the self. So as Socrates says, and we have in the text, many other staff bearers. Nope. Mystics. There we go. A true philosopher is a true mystic. But there's a better quote. Many are the staff bearers, but bearer. Here we go. I have often said Socrates, that while there are many thrisis bearers, that's the stuff, few there are who are true mystics. So many are the staff bearers, few are the actual mystics. I have made it clear that I am among those mystics, and I urge those to join me in this practice. That's what we're doing here, creating a way in for those curious, those souls seeking their highest excellence, the minds seeking to know the mind and master its own activity, and selves looking to free themselves from their false mask of self and know their true authentic self and function most ideally through it. For those people, we have this channel. Hooray.
I love this guy.
Thank you.
The more holes, the better.
That's what I've been saying.
No, you're not the one that's mentally unwell. You're brave.
You are crossing into new
Boundaries.
And we're brave and crossing into new boundaries. So, there's our staff symbolizing the true mystic, or the archetype of all of the Dungeons and Dragons and video games and things which copy the hero's journey or take pieces of what we're doing. We're doing the ultimate form. And in our inventory, using that analogy, we have a sack full of questions and a sack full of hypotheses. But notice, to look for both, we're looking for the dialectic. We're using the dialectic to find both. So, if we are looking for states of mind, what is encountered, how it functions, and a suggestion of the next, is the state of mind the definition? Self in relation to self? Or is what is encountered the self in relation to itself? Is the state of mind the functioning of what encounters? Or is what encounters some sort of functioning of a state of mind? How it functions, is that demonstration? Sounds like it. The word functioning is there. So the state of mind, or what is encountered in relation to others, is that how it functions? Or will we read it functioning in many different ways and to many different things, and so it's a division? And suggestion of its sequel sounds like conclusion. In other words, we're looking for the four parts: self in relation to itself, definition, self in relation to others, its functioning or demonstration. That having been affected by that functioning, how does it affect others to other others? There's our division. And finally, having been affected or gone through this process, how do those others then relate back to the self, back to the subject? Conclusion. So which of these is which? Also, we have some puzzles from the text, because right before we got given this quest, we have a change in the haters. Now, the haters are interesting because all they've been saying all the way through is the same catchphrase over and over. Nothing creative, nothing inspiring, nothing new, nothing funny, just the same old boring stuff. Understanding sucks. Understanding. You stink. In fact, what we love is belief. And we don't actually believe our own beliefs. Our beliefs will change based on popular opinion or what suits us. But there's nothing other than beliefs. And if you try and reach benefit, or you try and reach excellence, or try and perfect yourself, you're a fool. You need to be as stupid and ignorant and without any principles like us. So they've got a fear of the mind. Now, that also represents the aspect of our own self problems, our pathologos. Remember, as we've been saying, there's always two parts. When you have a new insight or a new understanding, or you have an achievement, you always will face, well, I think always, unless you're really lucky, you'll face a counterattack. The false image of yourself, the false way of being that you've identified with, will fight back to undermine your insight, reject your understanding, tell you to give up. The loser mentality for losers is your counterattack to your own development. So the chorus, or the haters drinking the haterade, not only are people that we will find in our own life as we do this, especially as we start to talk about it and share it with others, we'll find haters to understanding, to the logos, to the development of soul, the development of mind through the dialectic, and the development of self through dream analysis. You'll find haters telling you to give up, thinking they know better. And by the way, we talked about sadism because belief can't actually do anything good or beneficial. So it can't actually have real leadership or real rulership or actual knowingness. So as we read in the text, believers take as a surrogate for knowing hurting people. That's why cruelty is the point for fascists and believers of all kinds, capitalists, conservatives, oligarchs, you name it, religious authorities. They could be helping people, but they seem to delight in doing harm. Why? Because they think that's knowing. So, smug and cruel is the mark of belief, the believer's ignorance, or the goal. Just as we are seeking our highest self, they take this, and we are seeking actual knowledge, which is experienced as divine luminosity, beauty itself, bliss, eternity, all these fantastic qualities. In fact, the highest superlatives, the greatest words we have to describe things, describe that state of mind. They can't have it because they're blocked from it, because that's what belief does. That's a functioning of belief. to block understanding of the Logos. So as a surrogate, belief doesn't have a feeling, but you know what does? Sadism. Seeing you using your belief to hurt others the way you've been hurt. So, you might notice in the Joe Rogan sphere or right-wing comedy, they're not telling jokes. There's nothing insightful or clever or funny. There's no punchline. They're not actually telling jokes. They're just saying mean things and being smug about it. Punching down, hurting people. They're stupid. It's just one joke they pass around. A man in a dress, ha 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 ha. And then they just use the mean words that they like a 5-year-old. Oh, I said the naughty word. But also this idea of smug and cruel as the mark of comedy is also the mark of knowing. Smug and cruel. Ever seen Netanyahu ever? Sickening. Smug and cruel. So, these haters have been smug and cruel to themselves while seeking to be cruel to the dialogue, trying to, hey, if you ever believed us, we'd tell you to give up and you suck. But Socrates and Jesus are not listening. In fact, the anti-chorus is shutting them down every time. So the haters or the chorus are blocked from development of their own soul. They're blocked from the mind game, participating in the dialectic, the true functioning of mind that actually benefits you, and they're blocked from the quest that we have been on all through this book to see the significance of dream analysis. So the highest activity of self, dream analysis. The highest activity of mind, the dialectic, which is used in dream analysis. And our purpose of the soul to seek perfection through the Logos. So all three come together. A soul seeking perfection of the Logos can engage in the activity of the dialectic use of mind in the highest use, dream analysis, to know the self. 1, 2, 3. So they're blocked from all of that, but they've been watching it unfold. They've been coping and seething the whole way through. They've been throwing out their stupid buzzwords. No creativity in how they're trying to shut things down, in their cruelty and smugness. But they're still there watching, aren't they? As a result of watching this dialogue unfold all the way through, there is finally a crack, a chink in the armor. When they said, right, was where we are the last time that they said anything. Oops, way further down. This is where we are. This is our takeoff point into the oxiding pictures. They said, So first they did the haterade. Hey, Dionysius tried to bring understanding or Hellenize the West. So literally the greatest thing you can do, introduce understanding, introduce the Logos, introduce a love of understanding. The literal thing we are here to do, the only thing that solves problems and the only thing that helps us reach our goal, understanding or the Logos. Dionysius tried to do that in the Dark Ages, where everything was going to shit, literally, because of the vilification of understanding and the veneration or pedestalization of fucking belief, faith, oppression, ignorance, sadism. So even though he was trying to do the literal best thing you can do, the haters say, oh, he tried to Hellenize the West. Good try, but it flopped. Ha ha. F for humanity. F for good people. Ha ha. F's in chat. So, stupid. They're always stupid. Because believers are functioning in opposition to their own benefit. That's why they're always grifted to. That's why the Republicans and the conservatives and the fucking media run by oligarchs and capitalists always target believers. They target the religious people. They try and vilify education. Education, Charlie Kirk's catchphrase. Education is bad. Oh, the rich people get education, but not you. It's bad for you. Trump's catchphrase. I love the uneducated. Smart people don't like me. I love stupid people. Yeah, no shit. So the people who support those belief-based grifters and sadists and murderers and everything else that's vice are supporting people who are literally acting against their own interests. So this smug cruelty that they're taking as knowing isn't helping these haters, the chorus. It's hurting them. So, interesting irony. Now, a Greek tragedy has this as the tragic hero, and he suffers a tragic fate as a result of this way of being, and he realizes when it's too late, he was the cause of his own suffering. So it's interesting. Aside. So, hating on the good people, but as a result of just being here and watching it happen, even though they are blocked, even though they are smug and cruel, even though they can't participate, they can watch. And as a result of watching, they say, I should admit I liked hearing about what was said about the logos. One, they're curious about the logos. That's a huge change. That's an upgrade. Now, they also say, I wonder why logos is linked to perfection. There's the other thing we need for development. Remember, what's the start of the game? A soul receptive to its perfection through following the logos. A soul receptive to rule or seeking and following the logos. So I'm going to put seeking and following. Follow the logos, because follow the logos is a cool bumper sticker. Receptive to seeking, because you have to uncover the logos, you got to learn about it. Seeking, push the pen in. Seeking and following, or being ruled by the logos. So you have to recognize there are types of souls. Not all souls are the same. Obviously, there are some wonderful people, there are some mediocre people, there are some insightful people, and there are some garbage people doing terrible garbage things. Garbage. To them we say,
You have the brain of a child if you think that.
You're a baby. You're a little baby.
you're a little baby.
Dude, suck my dick.
I wouldn't go that far, but always good points made by the Oracle.
Dumbass.
That's better.
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now?
Emma, come on. Calm down, Emma.
It's a guy whose head appears to be on backwards, and then half lady.
Aaron Brown's tripping balls. Half lady? What's a half lady? So that's interesting, because the way into the game, the first receptive material cause, the bricks that the builder used to build the house. You don't have to be, we were saying, well, this is the thing, because it's the virtues, it's a practice. It's to desire the logos, to seek the logos, and to reason according to the logos. Those are the three forces of the soul. An inward desire, we desire for ourselves. There's something that propels us to move in the world, seek goals. And there's a reasoning faculty. The virtues are just being seeking and following the logos in all of those ways. But it's also a practice. In other words, you don't need anything else. You make that decision in the moment. That's it. But what we're seeing in the text is, well, there was kind of a prerequisite, whatever it took to watch these dialogues on the sidelines, blocked by your own beliefs and way of being, until you're curious enough about logos and perfection, because without the logos, well, logos is the method. It's how we do things, it's how we think, it's the paradigm, it's the inherent intelligibility of self, of mind, of reality. And we use it in our full perfection so long as we have a desire to perfect. So those are the two fundamental ideas you need to be in the game. And we're seeing that with these haters. I liked hearing about the logos, and I wonder why it's linked to the idea of perfection. But as we said, every new development comes with its counterattack. That's why you have to be doing both, seeking the truth and removing what's false. Because as soon as they said that good thing, they said, wait a minute, don't smile. They're triggered by people having fun. Interesting. Remember, if you're having fun around believers, you're showing that you like something, that you're doing well with something. What do believers do when people are enjoying and having fun and showing they value something? They destroy it so they can be cruel and smug, because that's their motivation. That's the motivation behind belief. The fake idea of knowing taken as a surrogate, because belief doesn't have logos. Logos is understanding. Belief, you can't understand if you're a believer. You just do as you're told. Also, you can't develop. Whatever you were told about Jesus or Moses or Abraham or L. Ron Hubbard when you were 4 years old has to stay. You can't change and grow. You can't go beyond what you used to think. You can't go beyond Jesus, as we are literally doing, because we've understood him, his state of mind, his problems, and what caused his downfall. So there's no perfection or development in belief, and there's no logos or understanding. So here are these believers waking up to what they need for their own development. But as soon as they have that insight or growth, there's the counterattack. Don't smile. Believers can't have fun. So there's no comedy in right wing. That's why fucking life is shit under politicians and religious authorities. The two remaining professions where you can be ruled by belief. You can't be a surgeon ruled by belief, you need understanding. You can't fly planes based on belief, you need understanding. Also, you have to use that understanding to benefit the subjects. The pilot can't decide to kill half of the passengers. Surgeons can't decide to kill half their patients. But what the fuck do you know? Religious authorities seek to kill half the population that aren't in alignment with them. Politicians seek to kill the poor people, or enslave the working class, or drop bombs on people who happen to live above oil reserves. Disgusting. It's absurd that we allow cruelty or belief, or both, either or, in any position of leadership. We don't in any other profession except for religion and politics. So there you go. Tell your friends. So, we could be living in a wonderful world, but it's terrible and stupid and cruel, and like a dozen or so families treat the world as a holiday resort while we all have to suffer for no reason, or for the reason of their ignorance. And our lack of recognizing the nature of human problems being the pathologos, and our purpose is to learn and perfect through the logos. So it's our own ignorance of our own condition that allows for the toleration of those two professions to exist, bound by pathologos belief. So it's our job to wake up. But here these believers are seeing people having fun. That's not a part of belief. Smiling, uh-oh. Believer catches you smiling, they'll try and crush it to be smug and cruel. So they quickly take it back. Hang on a second, they say, don't smile. The idea of perfection is the weakness in this discussion. So they take back the idea of perfection that they were curious about. And by the way, you can't solve problems. And because there's no perfection here, maybe when we die in heaven. By the way, also, you can't solve problems. We face only mysteries that can't be solved. So then they take back the logos. There's always a counterattack. But at least they've had that breakthrough. Even if it was quickly followed by the counterattack. So, we are taking these keywords. That's part of looking for, That's part of looking for puzzles and carrying clues. So, keywords, along with our seeking of states of mind, what is encountered, how it functions, suggestions of the sequels. Also, what role does logos and perfection play in the oxiding pictures? And also, is there a new approach to fun or the smile? So, taking these as extra puzzles to take with us. So, that's where we are in the text. Good job, everyone. It's been like 120 episodes or thereabout. Claps for everyone. Good job, good job, good job. And now we will bring up the oxiding pictures. Open recent. It's not there anymore. Okay, let me just find. Oh, I found them. Hooray. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's jump in. Okay, I need to change the text to the right one. Here we go. All right, there are 10. Now, on our first one, took me a while to have this explained to me. We have these little boxes, which are the key. So, they're Zen, Buddhism, oxiding pictures, but there are 3 different versions. The first one we get is verses from Kyoen Shiyan, 12th century, translated by Senzaki Nyoen, from 1876 to 1958. Paintings traditionally attributed to Tenzo Shibun. So this is 12th century stuff, translated 1900s, and the pictures from the 1400s. The second one is from the 3 Pillars of Zen, verses attributed to Kakuen Xian, a Chinese Zen master. from the 12th century. Okay, so what's this one? Japanese and Chinese. Let me just make sure. I think. Let me just make sure. Do. I mean, there is a history, like there was some, like there was a development from like 4 to 8, and then somebody added 2 more to make them 10. Let me nail down. All right, I guess they're both Chinese. So we got just change. There we go. So we got 2 different verses, and then we got a third one. The author of the book we've been reading, a master of the Logos, a philosophy master, also happened to be appointed Buddha of the Korean Buddhist line. So his enlightenment and understanding, or guruship, acknowledged by the Buddha of that tradition. So ticking both boxes. Pierre Grimes, the author of the book we're reading, has done his own version. So we can look for those 4 things: states of mind, what's encountered, how it functions, and a suggestion of the next, of its sequel. And look for how it's different in look for what's different in Pierre Grimes' version. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Big day today. Coffee will keep me going. So, let's so the 10 of them, let's start at the beginning. Oh, I wonder how this is going to work out for us. I have no idea. Oh. That's better. Number 1. Now, just a little bit of a heads up. The first 2 ox-herding pictures are not stages of enlightenment. They're the stages of ignorance prior to recognizing that there is a bull to be seeked. To be seeked? To seek. So interesting, we've been talking about seeking and following the Logos. So I wonder what the ox represents for them. So, number 1, one of the 2 stages of ignorance. Hi, yes, Buddhism. Welcome, Isidorix. Isidori. Number 1, in search of the bull. Here's our guy. There he is. Just a guy in the forest. In search of the bull, in the pasture of the world, I endlessly push aside the tall grasses in search of the ox, following unnamed rivers, lost upon the interpenetrating paths of distant mountains, my strength failing and my vitality exhausted. I cannot find the ox. So we got a picture and we got that. But the Xi'an version has more. because it has a poem as well. Seeking the Ox. Oh, it's got a title, Seeking the Ox. The ox has never really gone astray, so why search for it? Having turned his back on his true nature, the man cannot see it. Because of his defilements, he has lost sight of the ox. Suddenly, he finds himself in a maze of crisscrossing roads. Greed for worldly gains and dread of loss spring up like searing flames. Ideas of right and wrong dart out like daggers. Already sounds very familiar. Why search? This is something that we found in philosophy. People don't. I do not have the 50,000 Twitch followers that Asmongold and Hassan Piker have that are rightfully mine, because I'm doing the better thing than whatever those guys are doing. Hassan does okay. But because people think they know the self. People think they know the nature of problems. That's why we're not solving problems. No one's looking. Why search? I know the self. I know what I am. I know what reality is. Why get into these books that Jed and these guys read? Only to be puzzled and to find mysteries. I'd rather be smug and certain. Having turned his back on his true nature, man cannot see it. Because of his defilements. So what's that? Vice. The opposite of virtue. Not desiring, seeking, and reasoning according to the logos and what we've been reading. Suddenly he finds himself in a maze of crisscrossing roads. Right? No principles, no way of moving forward. No paradigm. No logos. Greed for worldly gain. Right? Get that bag. Get on your grind set. Survival of the fittest under capitalist disgusting bullshit. And dread for loss. Right? The thing that the grifters, the capitalists, the politicians and religious folk appeal to. Hey, the immigrants are going to take your jobs. Going to take your money. And they're going to kill you with fentanyl. Spring up like searing flames. Ideas of right and wrong dart out like daggers. Sounds like punishment. Fighting, conflict. Again, no principles, so they're just... The ideas of right and wrong are just to justify your cruelty or your belief-based desire to inflict the same injustice you suffered from your pathologos. Clip chimping. Not seeking for where we're missing the mark as an opportunity to engage in dialectic, the true activity of human beings. No, you're just saying that they're wrong so you can feel smug or you can justify violence against them. Punishment. That's not justice. That's revenge and scamming and sadism. A true just society would be one that looks for problems as an opportunity to learn. That's the dialectic, my friend. So, there's a description and followed by a poem. Desolate through forests and fearful in jungles. So there's, states of mind. Fearful. Dread of loss. He is seeking an ox which he does not find. Up and down, dark. Nameless. Wide flowing rivers. In deep mountain thickets, he treads many bypaths. Bone tired, here weary, he carries on his search for this something which he yet cannot find. At evening he hears cicadas Cicadas chirping in the trees. So we're looking for states of mind, what is encountered, how it functions, and suggestions of its sequel. So states of mind we could put in green. How it functions, put in orange. Why seek? State of mind, having lost sight. Defilements. State of mind again, dread of loss. Greed for worldly gains, is that a state of mind? Treading many bypaths, lots of tangents, going nowhere in a maze, how it functions. State of mind, desolate, fearful, desolate in forests, fearful in jungles. Functioning is not finding what you're looking for. At evening he hears cicadas chirping in the trees. Sounds like the anticipation of the next. He hears something happening. So, impulse collides with tricky reality, says our chatter. So let's go on. So let's just do the original ox herding pictures before we get into Pierre Grimes' version. Number 2. So that was In Search of the Bull, or Seeking the Ox. Number 2, Discovery of the Footprints, or Finding the Tracks. First one, along the riverbank under the trees I discover footprints. Even under the fragrant grass I see its prints. Deep in remote mountains they are found. These traces can no more be hidden than one's nose looking heavenward. No longer hidden. There are traces as obvious as the nose on your face. The 3 Pillars of Zen version. Finding the tracks. Through the sutras and teachings, he discerns the tracks of the ox. Notice this one introduces a kind of learning, or their version of logos. Needed to recognize there's something worth seeking. Hey, if you're not reading the books that we're reading, how can you recognize that there is a logos to seek and follow in the perfection of your soul, the mastery of your mind, to know the true nature of self? That's why we have the stream and the podcast. To tell people, to share it, have fun. Otherwise, where are you going to learn this from? Not at school. Aristotelian Christian bullshit. Not on TV. Capitalist propaganda bullshit. Not from politicians or religious authorities. They're literally in opposition to the logos. Because they're in number 1. Got to hear about it somewhere. So, through the sutras and teachings, what we would call our reading, I suppose, discerns the tracks of the ox, recognizes that there's something there to be seen. He has been informed that just as different shaped golden vessels are all basically of the same gold, so each and everything is a manifestation of the self. Wow. 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 Wow, 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 wow. So just as all the golden vessels are actually of the same kind of thing, gold, so too each and everything is a manifestation of the self. But he is unable to distinguish good from evil, truth from false. Now, okay, good from evil, we can see a pathologos maybe creeping in because evil's not a thing, either in the translator or in these people. Maybe they didn't have the dialectic, midwifery, and dream analysis to surface their false beliefs, like that of evil. Remember Socrates, we just read Socrates say, when I was young, I thought good and evil until I realized that was horseshit. It took me having to wake up and realize that life wasn't a never-ending, pointless battleground between forces of good and evil, to realize that was crap, to wake up to true philosophy. So let's highlight truth from false. That works. So, unable to distinguish truth from false, he has not actually entered the gate. Not there yet. But he sees a tentative way. Sees in a tentative way. So there's our state of mind. Tentative. The tracks of the ox. So these would be somebody who maybe has dropped into a couple of our streams or checked out a few of our YouTube videos, and it's like, this idea of perfecting my soul through reading and following the logos, maybe I'll watch a stream here or there, but I'm not going to read for myself. I'm not going to record my dreams. I'm not going to practice the dialectic. But I could appreciate what is being said about those things. Number 2. The poem. Innumerable footprints has he seen in the forest and along the water's edge. 120 episodes of this particular series on this channel. Over yonder does he see the trampled grass? It's over there. Grass is greener over on the other side of the fence. Even the deepest gorges of the topmost mountains can't hide this ox's nose, which reaches right to heaven. So that would be the anticipation of the next. So the first one, the person is alone in the maze of crisscrossing tangents and doesn't know what's right and wrong. The ideas of right and wrong is just used to hurt people, right? Like every fucking politician and religious authority person, every parent, or not every parent, but often parents use the idea of right and wrong to justify the punishment because they want to be the punisher, because they were once punished, they were the punishee, and until they do midwifery, they are stuck in a two-person game, the bully or the bullyee. That's why the Israelis who are doing genocide are crying victim. That's why the fascist Trump regime are crying victim. The right-wingers are saying they're the victims because there's only two roles. The victim of the bully or the bullier. So they seek to be the bully because that's the only alternative to being the bullied person. I'm right. I get to stab you with my dagger. I get to bomb you. I get to genocide you. I get to shoot you. I get to put on a mask and beat you up and take you away from your family under ICE, under the IDF. But also, I'm the victim. Cry bullies. So right and wrong is just a way of clip chipping. Finding excuses to enact your own ignorance and prejudice and, well, pathologos. But he can hear cicadas chirping in the trees. There is something other out there. There's something other than my own game. The bully and the bullyee. The bullied and the bullier. There's something else. Let's not use that color. Now he's seen footprints, innumerable footprints. I'm starting to recognize time and time again there's an intelligible order to reality that's pointing in a certain direction that we call the logos. It's everywhere. It's in our reading, it's in our thinking. And there are so many analogies. It's politics, it's religion, it's families, it's evolution, it's the human condition. Pathologos versus the logos. It's everywhere. Innumerable. And by the way, if that's the game, the pathologos is based on a false image of the self and an associated way of being and role. And our true purpose is to know the actual self and function in its proper role, the dialectician or dream analysis dialectician. Therefore, everything is a manifestation of the self, or what blocks us from seeing that. It's all the self. It's all the logos or pathologos. The self or the false image of self you're attached to. That keeps us tentative. That keeps us like the chorus or the haters on the sidelines. I'm watching the dialogue, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to read in this way. I'm not going to do my own dialectics. I'm not going to practice this with my friends. I'm not going to try it on my dreams. Not me. Maybe one day. Because I see the tracks out there. So, over yonder. Not yet. Not yet. From that movie. Gladiator. Not yet. Oh, that's more like James Bond music. Not yet. Okay. But the anticipation of the next. Even the deepest gorges of the topmost mountains can't hide the ox's nose, which reaches right the way to heaven. So maybe there is this ox that will take me to heaven, that we recognize as a state of mind and a way of being, ultimately of self. The anticipation of the next level. So what has he encountered? Evidence of footprints. What's his state of mind? Tentative. But still unable to distinguish. But what's he been doing? He's been learning through the sutras and teachings. So let's see this ox's nose that anticipates the next stage. Number 3, perceiving the bull. We've got search of the bull, discovery of footprints, and now we can perceive the bull. We're in the game. So this is the first stage of enlightenment. These two are precursors. You're stuck in your problems, you think you know better, you aren't even watching these streams. Number 2, you're watching these streams, but you're not doing anything. You're not using it to order your soul. You're not seeking a perfection of your soul through the logos, mastery and perfection of your mind through the dialectic, mastery and perfection of the self through dream analysis. Not doing any of that. But you're watching the streams. You're seeing how it's making sense. Maybe you're wondering, how come it makes sense? But now you're in the game. Perceiving the bull. Let's see what makes the difference. Perceiving the bull. I hear the song of the nightingale. Music's playing a role. Hear the song of the nightingale. The sun is warm. The wind is mild. Willows are green along the shore. Here no ox can hide. What artist can draw that massive head? Those majestic horns? So here's the picture. This is the fella. He's seen the ox, and there's the ox's butt. ox butt. There's a man running. Oops. So, seen enough to wonder, how can anyone understand this? How can an artist capture this vision? His head is massive and these horns. In other words, there's a lot to this. I've had a glimpse. This would be the glimpse. I've had a glimpse of something. People who are stuck here this is where, by the way, at any level, as soon as somebody says you can't understand or know, then that's your level of, you're blocked. So in the first level, interesting, yes. In the first level, you can't know what's actually right or wrong. You can't know the nature of reality. You can't even do anything. It's just all belief. So you're stuck in search of the bull. You're stuck in ignorance. I see footprints, but you can't understand the mind. There might be a God, but you can't. There might be a divine, there might be enlightenment, but that's not for you. You can't do it. There, you're stuck there. Here, you could be in awe of how could we grasp it and seek to grasp it. Then you're away, you're on track. If you say, nope, no, I had this vision and it's beyond words, no one can explain it, no one can really know it, there's no way of integrating it into a way of being, there's no way it could be a paradigm for a level of functioning of mind, it can't be the standard which you act through, ideally through the dialectic, it's beyond words, it's a mystery. Then you're out, you're stuck. This is where you're stuck, this is as far as you go. Why? Because we're following the logos, my friend. As soon as you reject the logos, then...
Like literally suck my dick, dude.
It's a total shit show.
Then it's a total shit show.
Wrong. You're so wrong. But that's
You're
okay.
wrong.
We're all allowed to be wrong sometimes.
But it's okay, you can be wrong sometimes. So 2 ways of going. What artist can draw that massive head or those majestic horns? Or wonder, curiosity, seeking, you're doing good. Certainty, no one can, you're doing bad. Notice the difference? Certainty, closed-mindedness. Certainty, a mark of what you think you know is at the end. Ignorance. Beauty, harmony. Music, harmony, beauty appears, says our friend in chat. Hearing the song. The sun is warm, the wind is mild. Willows are green along the shore. Here no ox can hide. What artist can draw that massive head? Those majestic horns? And in Three Pillars, first glimpse of the ox. So there's our glimpse. So we got a clue from Socrates in the text. He said, I want everything. I want an outline of the stages of enlightenment from a glimpse to its final stages. So he gave us a bit of a clue with this word. That's the fun of reading. That's why we read. We're seeking the ox in the book. It's helping. You're not on your own. You're not in a unintelligent world or a cruel or vacant world. The logos is understandable, and it's the method through which we get our care or guidance. This is significant. It's significant to realize yourself through your own reading and application of your reading. That is, it is a intelligent and understandable and friendly cosmos we're in. Otherwise, you'll be in stage 1 where you are in a maze of crisscrossing roads. You're desolate, you're fearful, you just seek worldly things, and you're just afraid of losing all your stuffs. Become a capitalist fascist. Join Elon Musk and those fuckers. Sorry, that was uncalled for.
Cunt's a little fucking bitch.
And
You moron. You absolute fucking buffoon. You goddamn idiot.
that's what you can say to those people. First glimpse of the ox. If he will but listen. Gotta listen. Intently to everyday sounds. He will come to realization. Notice, not belief. Your own seeing. And at that very instant, see the very source. Instant. Keyword. Notice. Through sutras and teachings in the previous stage. So through our reading, we can recognize certain keywords because we've been doing the work and seeing why keywords are significant. In the instant. Instant's key for us, right? It's the instant through which the self generates the frame of time. Like frames of a movie many times a second, every microsecond. In the gap or the instant, the self decides instantly what's needed in the next moment, perfectly, with a profound level of intelligence. The 6 senses, 6, are no different from this true source. Now we have 5. What's the 6th, I wonder? In every activity, the source is manifestly present. It is analogous to the salt in water or the binder in paint. When the inner vision is properly focused, one comes to realize that that which is seen is identical with the true source. This is one hell of a vision for stage 1. To see the source everywhere. It's like the salt in water, the binder in paint. I'm not into paint, I don't know what that means. If you, by the way, to focus your inner vision, what are we talking about? A soul ruled by the logos. To desire the logos, to seek the logos, to reason according to the logos. The pleasure you get from knowing self and reality, that desire. Honor you get from mastering understanding, not honor from, I don't know, doing sports games or being the best at war or capitalism. So in other words, you've focused your vision on one thing. The logos for us. What is seen is identical with the true source. Now that's, what a vision. The poem. A nightingale warbles on a twig. Warble. The sun shines on undiluting willows. The sun shines on undulating willows. Like, rhythmically moving back and forth. Actually, let's nail down that word. Undulating. For those playing at home. Smoothly rising and falling form or outline. Okay. Continuous up and down shape or movement like waves of the sea. Gotcha. So there is a up and down movement. I never thought of video game honor in that way. Oh. Can you say more about video game honor? I want to hear more of your thought. So, there's a metaphor. There's something that the sun represents. Maybe the source. But it's shining on undulating willows, the up and downs of life. Ups and downs, positives and negatives. The learning and the counterattack, the review and the overcoming. Here stands the ox. You said honor in a sports game. Yes. Oh yes. Oh right. Yeah. So See, if there are three parts of our soul, we desire what we consider good. That could be in the first oxiding picture, our greed for worldly gains, physical pleasure, but we also, there's a force moving us outwardly, honor. I meant like sports games as in, you know, I'm the best athlete in the world. I'm the best at football playing. I'm the best at basketball. I am Kobe Bryant. But yeah, video game honor. I did the most kills. I'm Elon Musk. I'm the best at Path of Exile. He was lying. Billionaires and capitalists lie all the time. Spoiler. But what about the honor you would get from mastering the texts, one of the books that we read? To the point where you can actually help others through that text. Wouldn't that benefit their soul? Would that be a kind of honor worth more than being the #1 ranked League of Legends player? And what if you went to the next stage and mastered the dialectic? By master, I mean you've understood it enough to use it to help someone. Help someone see and get an insight into their problem or into a higher vision of self. Would that be an honor worth seeking? And by the way, if it's an honor worth seeking, does it come along with a pleasure when you experience reality and understand it? Is that a pleasure worth inwardly desiring? And by the way, as you reason in seeking your goals or and reaching your desires, would you be following the logos? Would it be the same thing that you'd be using in your reasoning? Therefore, can you be unified? So there's a sun shining while the ups and downs happen, the undulating willows. There stands the ox. But where could he hide? So this first vision is some recognition of a oneness or a ever-presentness of self, or the ox. That splendid head, those stately horns. What artist could portray them? Oh, okay, same with the artist. So I suppose if it's the last line, we've been saying this is the anticipation of the next stage or the sequel. So now we've got a recognition that there is something that's ever present, the source of everything, and it's underlying everything. While we look at the ups and downs of the undulating willows, there is a sun that shines always. But how can we grasp it? How can we nail it down like an artist? Maybe that's the next stage. So states of mind. We're listening. There's a realization. What is encountered? Seeing the very source. Seeing that the senses are no different from the true source. So in other words, recognition that, people often talk about when they've had a glimpse experience, their senses coming into a single sense. Sometimes they talk about going back to, no, back's not the right word, but recognizing that the 5 senses, I guess 6, I guess thinking would be the 6th. People talk about their thinking, their seeing, their hearing, their touch are all kind of like the fingertips or the fingers of the hand. But it's all the same sense. It's just being pushed into those different directions. Like it's trying to think of a good metaphor. Like it's a block of spaghetti and our senses are just You put it in the thing and it becomes 5 or 6 spaghetti strands. And now they're experiencing the true sense. And a realization that it's everywhere. So, in every activity, the source is manifestly present. Manifestly present. That's underlined. I don't know what that means, but it's underlined. Manifestly present. Focusing of the inner vision. So there's our activity, or how it functions, maybe. Again, another realization, state of mind. That whatever is seen is identical with the true source. And the anticipation of the next, remember that's what we're looking for. We're looking for state of mind, what is encountered, how it functions, and the suggestion of the sequel. What artist could portray them? So maybe number 4 is painting the picture. Number 4, catching the bull. I seize him with a terrific struggle. Struggle. That state of mind? His great will and power are inexhaustible. Is that what's encountered? The will and power of self? He charges to the high plateau far above the cloud mists, or in an impenetrable ravine he stands. Look, he's getting away from you. So it's a struggle. You want to go beyond a glimpse. You want to make that state of being your own. But it gets away from you. In an impenetrable ravine. What we might call, what have we been calling it? Remember, there's always 2 things. There's your up and your down. There's the undulating willow. There is your insight. There's the counterattack. Could this be the counterattack? You've had your first vision, but every vision, every insight, every breakthrough comes with the counterattack. That's why we have our problems. If it was just a matter of seeing the truth, we wouldn't have gone through the Dark Ages. We wouldn't have gone through capitalism and fascism, because Socrates told the truth. All we had to do was stage 3, listen intently. How many people listen to the truth? So it's not a matter of just telling the truth. It's recognizing that we are human beings, not computers. So you can't just input the correct information and press enter. Human beings fight back. They killed Socrates. People venerate, under Germany, Hitler. Duty above everything. People venerate Putin in Russia. The Jewish cultural pathologos venerates Netanyahu. The American capitalist griftosphere venerates Trump. We are fighting against our own interests of universal understanding of universal principles that are applied universally to benefit everyone universally. Because we're all in the same game of finding the self. And addressing the pathologos counterattacks. So, in an impenetrable ravine he stands. So in the other translation, catching the ox. Today he encountered the ox. Oh, look at the picture. Let's review the pictures. No. Okay, we got number 1. There is old man. Not old man. Shaved head man. In his... Is he shirtless? No, he's got a shirt on. He looks like he's shirtless, but he's wearing shirt and pants. There he is in the forest, alone, afraid, ignorance. Number 2, finding the tracks. He notices that there are footprints. Look at him looking at the footprints. And he sees them everywhere, in the mountains in the distance, the trees, and on the ground in front of him. Number 3, first glimpse. He sees the butt of the bull. He sees the bull butt. There he is, look. See him looking at his butt. It's like, oh, look at that. It's like, oh, look at this. It's a bull's butt. I see it. I see it. And it's everywhere. Everywhere I look, it's the bull's butt. The world is the bull butt. He sees it. And number 4, what we're up to. No, the struggle. Catching the bull. That's what we're up to now. Look at him. He's struggling. Truth needs to be maintained like a fire or a bonsai. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Which means recognizing the counterattack, learning from it, not listening to it. Don't take it literally, just like we don't take religion literally. That's fucking stupid. Look for the underlying relationships applied to the higher principles. That's true theology. Likewise, the counterattack that comes says you can't do it. Take notes. It's not literal. It's a metaphor representing your own false ox. The false idea of the self you got from your upbringing that gave you a role and place within the family, also reflecting your false images of yourself from previous lifetimes that you're here to address. In other words, you don't have to go through past life regressions. You can find everything you need in your current pathologos. So you can, as I should have said, maintain your insight and develop it, because there's more than one ox setting picture. So there's old mate with the ox, and he's got a rope around his neck and he's struggling. Catching the ox. Today he encountered the ox which he had long been cavorting in the wild fields. Have you ever cavorted something? If you have, you sound like a very fancy boy, because cavorting means jump or dance around excitingly. What? Is that what cavorting means? Jump or move around in a playful way, sometimes noisily and often in a sexual way. Chatters, what have you been doing to the ox? Frolicking playfully, behaving in a high-spirited or unrestrained way, or partying, often with the implication of sexual activity. My goodness. I am guessing it has a different meaning in the old days. Cavorting, I guess, trying to capture. Let's just keep it at that. You freaks.
Calm your fucking tits.
Calm your tits, everyone. He has encountered the ox. So he's encountered the ox that he has long been cavorting in the fields, wild fields, and actually grasped it. So you encountered something, you grasped it. For so long a time has it reveled in these surroundings. For so long a time has it reveled in these surroundings that breaking it of its old habits is not easy. Sounds like the counterattack. You gotta break your old habits. Interesting. So the ox is in the self. Sounds like ox's mind. Because you have to break your mind of your old habits, which would be the pathologos. It continues to yearn for that sweet scented grasses. It is still stubborn and unbridled. If he could tame it completely, the man must use his whip. Sounds like what we recognized as the virtues. You just practice. You have to practice it. You keep reading and you practice it. You seek the logos, you desire the logos, you reason with the logos, you continue to read, you continue to reflect, continue to practice the dialectic and practice dream analysis. You're ticking all the boxes, but you won't want to. It's not usual yet. It's not habit yet. Your old habits. Whatever your family taught you to do. Chasing money, chasing fame, chasing whatever. Skirts. Lots of things you can chase other than the logos. Or the ox. You must use your whip, apparently. You must whip it. Whip it good. He must whip it. When he sees the ox, he must whip it. Whip it. Whip it good. Into shape. That's a song. He must tightly, this is the poem. He must tightly grasp the rope and not let go. Oh, stay in the game. Perseverance, develop the virtues. Practice, practice, practice. For the ox still has unhealthy tendencies. You got that counterattack from your pathologos. Sounds more and more like the counterattack from the pathologos. But you're yearning, there's your state of mind. While he tugs it by the noose, it might well turn its head towards old haunts. Now, as we go through our reading needed for the material for the dialectic and dream analysis, we're learning. It takes effort. Can be fun if you've got friends in the game. The best kind of fun. But in other words, until the pathologos is gone, you have to practice. Keep courage. Keep going. Be the main character of an anime. Keep getting up, Naruto. Eventually, Naruto becomes Hokage. Or, he becomes, Orange Man. Sage mode. Mastery of all of his chakra. Mega Super Ultraman. And it's not effort anymore. But you're just in the game. You've had a glimpse of the logos or mind. You're seeking it. You want that excellence. You want to have higher states of mind of being. Whether you've understood it through your reading or you've had a literal experience through whatever means. You have to grasp the rope tightly. Because it will revert to its unhealthy tendencies. Counterattack. Stay in the game. Keep getting up, Naruto. Or it's been a while since I watched other animes. Keep getting up, Jinwoo-san. Keep getting up, Deku. Etc. Even while it tugs by the nose, it might as well turn towards its old haunts. So, is that the anticipation of the next? Let's see. So number 5. There we are. There's the dude. That's you. That's you there. And that's with the rope that you're holding. And there's the ox. Look at his eyes. He's tripping balls.
Die mad about it, bitch.
Tripping balls.
I find that very entertaining.
Yes. Taming the bull. The whip and rope are necessary. What would our equivalent of that be? Keep reading, keep doing dream analysis, keep practicing the dialectic. either in your reading or your approach to your problems that have come up in 4. Else he might stray down some dusty road. Hey, as you have success, either family members, old friends, or your own internal echo of those people will try and pull you back into the clan. Hey, we love you. You won't go to heaven unless you're a Jew. Come back to your old Jewish stuff. You won't go to heaven unless you're a Mormon, unless you're a Protestant. We love you, so give up this understanding and enlightenment and just follow Jesus. Hey, this is your navel gazing. Get into business. Be a billionaire. Get that bag. Like the family does. We care about you. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Stop navel gazing with this reading and development of your own self, mind, and soul, and get that bag, a dollar bill. Straying off down some dusty road. You've been down that road before. The whole purpose of midwifery is to realize I've played this game, I've gone down that road dozens of times to the point where I'm bored now. Midwifery is understanding the patterns, understanding those old roads that you've been walking as being a member of that family, tribe, clan, religion, society, to the point where you've seen it and you've understood it to the point where it's boring. It bores you now. You've lost its appeal. That's the aim. You've seen it to the point where it's fucking boring. No longer drives you. Until you reach that point, the whip and the rope are necessary to tame that mind. Or soul. Or logos, I suppose, if you want to think of it as the pathologos and logos in that conflict. Being well trained, he becomes naturally gentle. There we go. So this sounds like a transitional period. Becoming naturally gentle. Then unfettered, he obeys his master. So there is perhaps an unfettering of mind where it now obeys. Taming of the ox. With the rising of one's thought, another and another are born. Ooh, your thoughts are rising to higher, what? Dimensions, realities, ideas, eidos. Another and another are born. Midwifery, either of true or giving birth to true ideas, or false ones. Enlightenment brings the realization that such thoughts are not unreal. Since they arise from our true nature. Every thought is a message being sent to you. You don't choose your thoughts. They are either a manifestation of the reading you've done to perfect your soul through the logos, or an expression of the false idea of self that you've been carrying unwittingly, causing the ox to battle against you in picture 4. So anyone who says thoughts are an illness, or thoughts are a sickness, or let thoughts go away like a cloud, or you can't think your way into enlightenment, they are stuck before 5. They're not in 5 yet. 5 is a realization that thoughts are not unreal since they arise from our true nature. Think about how stupid reality would have to be for you to have such profound things like thoughts reflecting your image of yourself, either your high states of mind or your low ones, coming at the time it does. Intrusive ones going down those old dusty roads when you're doing your best. Thoughts that lead you to higher states of insight. How could that be so goddamn intelligence, but also a sickness? So profoundly crafted, reflecting everything of yourself and your life and your development, either in the positive or negative. Sent at the most appropriate time, always in an understandable fashion that you can benefit from, always. How could that be a sickness? Doesn't fucking make sense. If you see that, you're in 5. You don't pick them. Well, not do you think you are. Your true nature does. It is only because delusion it remains that they are imagined to be unreal. Delusions reject your thoughts. Applied equally to dreams. This state of delusion does not originate in the objective world, but in our own minds. The way that we grow up, ignore your thoughts, do as teacher says. I don't like the lesson, fucking shut up. Your thoughts are not meaningful, do as you're told or you get an F. My thoughts don't agree with not being able to read Harry Potter, not being able to have sex before marriage. Shut up, your thoughts are the devil. Do as you're told, says every fucking fascist, every belief-based manipulator. My thoughts are, I don't think there should be billionaires while I have to suffer and all my friends suffer and my family suffers and everyone I know suffers, just so billionaires can, have creepy PDF islands and bomb people just to test weapons and impoverish everyone, and Elon Musk is a Nazi. I don't think... Shut up! Your thoughts are bad. Know your place. Bollocks. That delusion does not originate in the objective world, but our pathologos. Your thoughts are important. Speak your voice. Develop your understanding. Ask questions. The only people who say otherwise are fucked in the head. Suffering from their ignorance, playing their ignorance of their parents and grandparents on you because they are taking that smug cruelty as knowing because that's how their parents looked when they did it to them. Always just that simple. So then we say,
Kant would say some fucking bullshit.
You're a baby. You're a little
and
baby.
You're a little baby. The poem, he must hold the nose rope tight and not allow the ox to roam. So we're battling in 4, but now we have to be persistent in 5. Lest off to muddy haunts it should stray. Back to your old way of life, buddy. Hey, that's why, if someone has that acid trip at that festival and starts living a different life, give them a week or 2, then their mind or way of being or ox goes to those old muddy haunts again. Back to rehab. Not back to rehab. Back to your old way of life that you should be bored by if you've been also developing understanding. That's why Logos is the method. Only through understanding can you go through this process. Properly tended through understanding, through our reading, dialectic, dream analysis, it becomes clean and gentle. Oh, there you go. Untethered, it willingly follows its master. It's an asset now. It's always an asset, but it's working with you. This level of realization of logos and mind allows your mind to be working with you. So, what's the states of mind? Unfettered, well trained, realization again that thoughts are not unreal because they're arising from our true nature, a recognition of our delusion that rejects the significance and meaning of your thoughts, the pathologos, state of mind of holding your mind, staying in the game, following the logos. Hey, those questions that we have from Xenophanes, what is the whole of seeing, hearing, and thinking right now? What's the whole? Is it the whole self? Is it the whole mind? Are you still carrying it? Can you carry it the same way you would hold the rope of the ox? Always, tightly. Can you hold that question? Can you hold true to your reading reflection? Can you hold true to your desire to practice the dialectic? Can you hold true to practicing dream analysis, learning dream analysis, recording your dreams, reflecting on it as best you can? Because then you become untethered. Is that a state of mind? Untethered, free, freedom. Are you free from your pathologos? Following its master, is that the anticipation of the next? So, looking for states of mind, what's encountered, how it functions, friend, clean and gentle, obeying the master, obeying yourself. Are you following the logos now? Are you the friend of your mind to follow the logos? And anticipation of the next. What happens when we're free and mind is following us? So we're 2 hours in. That's a good place to call it. We are 5 ox herding pictures down, 5 more to go. Exciting? You're getting the hang of it? Now, of course, we probably would want to reflect a couple of times to see more in it. Can we see the dialectic in there? And of course, we have the Logos version, or the Pierre Grimes version, the author of the book we're reading. He, by the way, did I mention he is the Dharma successor, like the 32nd. It's in the midwifery book. He talks about it, like the within the lineage from Buddha. This guy. Pierre Grimes is in there because he reached enlightenment through philosophy, but because philosophy contains the logos, you could read any other tradition, read the Diamond Sutra, read the ox herding pictures and say, oh yeah, I understand that. And if you've got a decent guru in a spiritual tradition, they should be able to recognize that you can understand what they're doing. Okay, you're there. You can be the next Buddha within that lineage, of course. Dharma successor, it's called. So this guy who has that achievement, status, acknowledgement, and the logos has done a translation of these with logos words. So that's on the horizon. Exciting. So 5 more to go, and then into that. Oh my God, so exciting. Are we nailing down the stages of enlightenment? Is there more to see? Absolutely. Are you having fun? We're having the most fun because
Where's the joy? Where's the whimsy? Where's the childlike wonder?
we're having joy and whimsy and childlike wonder. Because in this kind of reading,
I'm always good, and that is what I stand for, being good all the time.
that's what we stand for. We're doing good all the time. Right, RM?
That's awesome.
It is awesome. Is it?
I'm going to get you. I'm going
No.
to find you, and I'm going to get you.
No, please don't.
I'm too pure.
Because we're too pure. So, enough soundboard nonsense. Exciting stuff. Oh, I can't wait till next time. 5 more to go. And it's only going to get better. And then the logos versions. Oh, exciting. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're having fun. If you want to donate to the channel, it is appreciated. There's a link below. If you want the PDF to the text we're reading that's below. I might put a link. I don't know about these ones. If someone wants to, if I get comments or messages asking for a PDF of these oxiding pictures, I guess I'll post a link. But you can join on YouTube and Twitch and join the Discord. And I need to get some sleep. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. I said the next one. See you in the next one. Bye.